We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care. We look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care, too.
20 minutes after 12 now.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Artificial intelligence is becoming more intelligent. OpenAI is releasing a new model internally known as Strawberry that can perform some human-like reasoning tasks. The company says in a blog post the new model is built to spend more time thinking before responding to users' questions. AI bigwigs, including the CEOs of OpenAI and NVIDIA, met with senior Biden administration officials today to discuss how to fill the massive infrastructure needs for AI projects. The administration wants more public-private partnerships to develop data centers. Among the bells and whistles promised on Apple's updated AirPods was that some versions could double as hearing aids. During Monday's launch event, Apple said it was still waiting for government approval. Well, today, it received it. The FDA has given the okay for the first over-the-counter software to be used with the AirPods Pro headphones. Investors are buying today, stocks up between 0.25% and 1%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Check on the roads next, brought to you by Olympic Medical Center and McCrory Carpet One.
Have you found yourself speeding to the next rest stop? If your bladder can't wait, it may be time to see a urologist. Urology is back at Olympic Medical Center. Whether you're dealing with prostate problems or incontinence, a referral to OMC's urologist could be just what you're looking for. Our new urology team is accepting appointments starting this fall. Learn more today at olympicmedical.org/urology.
At McCrory Carpet One, they know how important it is to feel confident in your flooring selection. You want to know it's going to look exactly the way you want it once it's installed in your home. That's why they offer their one-of-a-kind guarantee, making sure you're 100% happy that the floor you've created together is as beautiful as the one in your dreams. If not, they'll replace it for free. That's what they call the beautiful guarantee. Peace of mind is yours with every installation. Always priced right, always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
Newsradio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Let's head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center now. That's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the roads for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Well, we're doing pretty good. Port Angeles Squim area as far as traffic. It's busy out there right now, but things are moving along pretty smoothly out there. You really shouldn't have too much of a problem making your way around town. Just some slowdowns at the stoplights is all. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Squim right now, things looking good out there as well. It is definitely busy out there, but traffic is flowing at the speed limit. The only real slowdown area is right around the Carlsberg area with that stoplight there. Other than that, we're in good shape. If you're headed out any further, right now, Hood Canal Bridge is good to go with no scheduled marine openings. And looks like state ferries are caught up. They are running on time so far this afternoon. Now, if you're going out to the west end, 101, we have a couple of issues out there. First, the construction there that at the Elwha River Bridge, they're doing some work down in that area. That is causing some slowdowns. Also, around the Lake Crescent area, we had a two-vehicle accident out there just a little bit ago. That has the westbound lane slowed down. Both vehicles are pretty much off the road, but it is causing some congestion out there. A couple of rangers are on the scene taking care of things. It doesn't look like there's much for injuries. So hopefully they'll get that cleared up here before too long, but just be aware of some slow going around the lake. So everybody take care. Be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
It is hard to imagine our world without plastics, but you may not realize they've only really been widely used for the last 50 or 60 years. Scientifically speaking, that makes them a relatively new phenomenon. We're still learning a lot about them. Just in the last few years, I've been reading study after study about plastics in our food and drinks. They are in just about everything. Fruits, vegetables, salt, sugar, tea bags, rice, and of course bottled water and other drinks you buy. Now, one recent study linked plastic consumption, inadvertent of course, with heart attack and stroke. So if you want to reduce your exposure, drink water and other beverages from glass or stainless steel containers. Try to avoid eating anything that's been stored in plastic. Look for food that's stored in glass, enamel, or foil. And don't microwave your food in plastic either. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. There's much talk today about heroes. We hear about heroic acts and deeds almost every day. But is the act or deed all it takes to be a hero? I'll give you that answer after this important message. Hello, Jerry Stewart here. Recently, as I spoke to a group of 6th graders about our America and the stories of We the People, to my surprise, one young boy did not understand just who we the people are. For a moment, I was puzzled. He does not know who we the people are? Then it hit me. Why would he know? We hardly even talk these days about our great America and the great part played by we the people and God to give us our greatness. Do your children know the stories of America, our real greatness as a nation, as a people? Go to my website now at jerrystewartusa.com or call 817-995-6965 and look at real, true story lessons written by me to teach our children about the virtues we must teach them now. 10 lessons for just $35 delivered right to your computer. Let's save America. Call now. Webster's Dictionary says that a hero is someone who, 1, shows much bravery, 2, performs great deeds, and 3, get this, lives a life of high and noble qualities. You see, being a hero is not just about crawling into burning buildings or facing an armed robbery or fighting in a war. Being a true hero is about conducting yourself in such a way, with such high character, that people want to be like you, to follow your example. So go out today and be a hero. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. The Swayah Creek Fire is continuing its slow burn in northwestern Kittitas County. It's torching brush and timber in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, about 14 miles northeast of Cle Elum. The fire is currently estimated at 214 acres with about 3% containment, but Fire Information spokesperson Ryan Roderick with the Washington Department of Natural Resources said the containment figure should increase by the end of the week.
Ground crews have done quite a bit of work in getting lines punched in and increasing the potential for containment.
Level 1 and 2 evacuation notices remain in place for a number of homes in the area, as well as the town of Liberty. It started on Sunday when flames from a vehicle that caught fire on the side of Highway 97 spread into adjacent grass and brush. Skamania County investigators continue to comb an area around 12 miles southwest of Mount Adams after a surprising discovery. A hunter told authorities he'd found a skull near Sawtooth Berry Fields, which is a popular tourist site. The skull was found to be human. It's been sent to a forensics lab for possible identification. Officials are looking to see if other remains are present. 33,000 Boeing factory workers are expected to vote today on the latest contract proposal, and it's expected they will reject it and go on strike. Boeing and the union agreed on a contract earlier this week that includes a 25% pay raise over 4 years. New Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg sent a letter to workers urging them not to go on strike, as it could jeopardize the company's recovery. For more on these stories and others, download the WSNN mobile app. You can also visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Attorney General Merrick Garland is denouncing conspiracy theories and dangerous falsehoods targeting the Justice Department. Speaking to reporters, Garland defended the agency's impartiality and condemned what he describes as outrageous attacks that undermine faith in the justice system. Garland says Justice Department employees have faced growing and unprecedented attacks the past few years, including threats of violence.
Through your work, you have made clear that the Justice Department will not be intimidated by these attacks. But it is dangerous and outrageous that you have to endure them.
Attorney General Merrick Garland. Also at townhall.com, wholesale price increases mostly slowed last month.
The Labor Department says its producer price index rose 0.2% from July to August. That's up from an unchanged reading a month earlier. And measured from a year ago, prices were up 1.7% in August, the smallest such rise since February, and down from a 2.1 annual increase in July.
Correspondent Jeremy House, the report, the latest evidence that inflation pressures are cooling enough for the Federal Reserve to begin cutting those interest rates next week. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. fell this week to its lowest level in 19 months, reflecting a pullback in Treasury yields ahead of the expected interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. The rate fell to 6.20% from 6.35% last week, according to mortgage buyer Freddie Mac. Stocks moving higher following a couple of reports on the economy that came in close to expectations. The Dow is up 142 points. The NASDAQ adding 182 points. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
North Korea has fired a volley of missiles.
South Korea says that they have detected multiple short-range ballistic missiles launched from North Korea's capital, flying about 220 miles before landing in the waters between the Korean peninsula and Japan. That flight distance suggests that the missiles were designed to attack targets in South Korea. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to boost efforts to make his nuclear force ready for combat with the U.S. and its allies. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A passenger train in South Africa transformed into a mobile health facility. It circulates throughout the country for much of the year, providing medical attention to the sick and old who often struggle to receive the care they need at crowded local clinics. For the past 30 years, this train has carried health workers all over the country. Breaking news at townhall.com. There are more people than ever before who are living in the U.S., but were born in another country.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau's annual American Community Survey, 14.3% of people living in the United States in 2023 were foreign-born. The rate hasn't been this high since 1910, when it was 14.7%, driven by waves of people immigrating in search of a better life around the end of the 19th century and the start of the 20th century. International migrants have become a primary driver of population growth this decade, as fewer children are being born in the U.S. I'm Donna Warder.
The Pac-12 adding Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State starting in 2026 to join Oregon State and Washington State in a rebuilt Conference of Champions. Those additions will rob the Mountain West of 4 of its successful football programs. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, September 12th. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office just gone live with a new user-friendly way to report crimes and some other concerns online. As of September 10th, residents can report many types of non-emergency crimes without requiring an actual deputy to physically respond to the location. Sheriff Brian King says you can now report vehicle prowls, code violations, animal complaints, harassing phone calls, hit-and-run vehicle collisions, traffic complaints, vandalism, theft, and even insurance claims.
The nice thing about this, and I've heard this from the public, is that, hey, I don't want to bother you guys, but I was involved in a fender bender in a parking lot at Walmart, and, my insurance tells me I need a police report. This will allow you to be able to file that directly and receive that police report in real time back after it's actually filed. And you're not going to wait on several layers of bureaucracy and ultimately getting to that report.
Now, the Sheriff's Office will be using this new program to capture anonymous tips through the Crime Tips option, too, and will be phasing out its previous tip line in the coming months.
Information is power, and so we need everybody to tell us everything that they're seeing. You take a picture of a car that looks suspicious in your neighborhood and you capture the license plate, go on to our crime tip, load that picture up into a report and send it to us. It can make or break a case.
Sheriff King says keep in mind if you're reporting a crime and have suspect information, you should still call dispatch so a deputy can be immediately assigned. And if a crime is in progress or it's an emergency, you should still call 911. King says the new reporting system is not meant to replace a person's ability to talk face-to-face with the deputy when that's what is needed or called for, but it creates a new option for the many instances when time and efficiency are more important.
We didn't want to sacrifice our service to the community. It was important that if you call and you want to talk to a sheriff's deputy, then we're going to be there. And that is still the case. But I will tell you that the times have changed, and we hear an equal amount of feedback of I don't care to really have to talk to a deputy in person. I can communicate with that deputy virtually, and I will be just fine. And so, I think that's just the changing tides, and we need to embrace them, and we need to be revolutionary, and so that's what we're trying to do.
The online reporting platform now available on the front page of the Clallam County Sheriff's Office website. Investors in Water Station Technology, an Everett-based water vending machine company, now filing a lawsuit against Port Angeles-based First Fed Bank, accusing it of issuing over $7 million in high-risk loans without disclosing its business relationship with the company. This being reported by the Seattle Times today. The lawsuit filed in King County Superior Court claims First Fed had already loaned $28 million to Water Station before extending more money to investors, many of whom used personal assets, including their homes, as collateral. Water Station, founded in 2013 by Ryan Ware, promised investors annual returns of up to 20% by installing water bottle filling stations at grocery stores. However, investors say the company stopped payments in 2022 and that 90% of its reported 17,000 machines didn't exist. The lawsuit alleges First Fed failed to disclose these risks and had a referral agreement with Water Station that facilitated easy loans for investors without adequate interviews or warnings. After payments ceased, the bank allegedly pursued investors' personal assets. First Fed has declined to comment on the case to the Times. In other news, the city of Port Angeles has successfully completed the City Hall East parking lot low-impact development project, significantly improving stormwater management and some local water quality there. The project, which took 6 months to complete, was largely funded by a $1.5 million grant from the State Department of Ecology and was built by local contractor Brook & Brook Construction. Featuring permeable pavement, rainwater cisterns, and bioretention cells, the project will treat some 500,000 gallons of runoff every year, keeping pollutants like zinc, copper, and petroleum out of Peabody Creek nearby and eventually out of the Port Angeles harbor. Public Works Director Mike Healy praised the long-term impact on water quality and safety, and in addition to enhancing infrastructure, the project sets a model for developers who need to meet the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System requirements, showcasing sustainable stormwater techniques that could be used in future developments across the area. Well, if you've ever wanted to add some legal tomes to your collection, now's your chance. Clallam County is cleaning house, offering surplus law books for free. Whether you're a student, a legal professional, or maybe you're a book lover, this could be a unique opportunity to get your hands on these volumes. If you're interested, contact Lonnie Gores at the clerk of the Clallam County Board of Commissioners. Leave a message there at the Commissioner's office with your name and number before Monday, September 30th. The county will follow up in early October to schedule a viewing and a time to come by and collect the books. Volunteers and Olympic National Park staff will join forces September 21st to clean marine debris from the park's coastline. It's part of the International Coastal Cleanup. This year's effort will focus on the Ozat Loop. Volunteers can pre-register online by September 13th or sign up in person September 20th or 21st at the Ozat Trailhead. The cleanup part of a global event involving some 150 countries. In 2023, volunteers removed 1,620 pounds of trash from nearby beaches. This year, participants will hike 3 miles to reach the Ozat coastline, gathering and then hauling out the debris on foot. Free camping will be available for pre-registered volunteers. This is Newsradio KONP.
Hello, this is Amanda Huff with Swim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called natural organic reduction, or simply terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you'd like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Swim Valley Chapel in Swim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Swim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
Tri-State Roofing is celebrating the grand pre-opening in Sequim. Tri-State specializes in more than just roofs, siding, gutters, patio covers, and doors. And the best part is, we got you covered with incredible financing. Project now and pay later, much later. Zero down payment, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 18 months on approved credit. Experience the Tri-State way. We've got you covered 24/7. Online, tristate.pro.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Four-man rush. Gino sets. He throws downfield. He's got Lockett. Lockett makes the catch. Touchdown! Seahawks! Holy catfish!
The Seahawks hit the road to battle the new-look New England Patriots from Foxborough. Join Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman this Sunday. Pre-game at 9 a.m. Kickoff at 10, right here on the Seahawks Radio Network.
Four-man rush by the Cowboys. Gino's going to run. He's down to the 5. He's in untouched. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Do you have livestock needing moving? Stories Trailer Sales has trailers, and more trailers. Check out their full lineup of equipment and livestock trailers ready for immediate delivery. ATV, vehicle, and dump trailers too. Whether you need a trailer now or custom made, Stories will deliver direct to you. Visit online, storiesservicestation.com. Go to storiesservicestation.com.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 63. Northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows level out for around 49. Slight chance of rain showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 61. Cloudy skies expected. Temps below average Saturday and Sunday, with highs from the upper 50s to the low 60s. Scattered showers possible both days. A peek at the extended shows, 62 Monday, 59 Tuesday, and 61 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 61.
With
SRN Sports. I'm Jeremy House. Major League Baseball. In the American League, the New York Yankees stretched their lead in the American League East to 1.5 games over the Baltimore Orioles.
New York required a full-team effort to squeeze out the win. Third baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. earned the game-winning RBI, slapping an infield single to score pinch runner John Birdie. Juan Soto blasted a 2-run home run in the 6th inning, and catcher Austin Wells hit a sac fly to tie the game in the 10th. For Kansas City, Cole Reagans pitched 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. With the win, New York advances to 84-62. Kansas City falls to 80-67.
That's correspondent Owen Russell reporting. Other American League winners included Cleveland, Minnesota, Boston, and Oakland. National League winners were Pittsburgh, Washington, St. Louis, San Francisco, and the LA Dodgers. And interleague winners included the New York Mets, Arizona, Philadelphia, Detroit, and Seattle. This is SRN Sports. NFL news, the league averaged 21 million viewers per game during the league's opening week, making it the most watched Week 1 on record. The league and Nielsen say the per-game average on TV and digital platforms was a 12% increase over last year. All told, 123 million people saw at least part of one game. It's the highest total for an opening week since 2019. NBC had the most watched game with defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City's 27-20 victory over Baltimore in last Thursday's opener, averaging 29.2 million on TV and digital. And as college football fans continue to adapt to the new world order brought on by conference realignment and playoff expansion, among the changes are a couple of rivalries that used to cap off regular seasons, which are now taking place before summer's end. This is SRN Sports.
The following is a paid advertisement.
This is Church Watch, brought to you by LutherCanon.com. Well, we are approaching what promises, or should we say threatens, to be one of the most important elections this country has ever faced. So what will we do about it, America? What about it, Olympic Peninsula? And what about you, Clallam County? I mean, this is where we live, right? Do we really want to see our towns continue to decay? That's right, I said decay. The crime, injustice, homelessness, drugs, immorality, remember that word? It's still in the dictionary, and it's definitely still in our Bibles. More than 63 million abortions in this nation have cried out to heaven. Broken marriages, the incredible dangers that have come through our borders. Need I say more? I don't think so. We're all aware, or at least should be, of the danger this country is in. Families, and especially youth, are being destroyed here. If we don't begin to wake up, it's going to be game over. We may not be able to rescue America at this point, but we can certainly rescue this peninsula area. This is not really about an election. It's about us. Our problems have moved way beyond politics to solve. This is going to take the intervention of God. We need to lay aside all excuses and begin to pray and repent. Right now, humility, repentance, and serious prayer are far better than a voting ballot. It's clearly time for all believers in Jesus Christ, in and out of the church, to begin to come together and pray. Small gatherings and large, in homes, churches, businesses, etc. From now to the end of October, this will be the message of Church Watch. Until then, can we do this? I certainly hope so. America, America, God shed his grace on thee. For Church Watch, this is Gordon Haddon.
The preceding was a paid advertisement.
Need a urologist? Urology is back at Olympic Medical Center. Doctors Laurel Mast and Timothy Hewitt have joined our team, seeing patients for urology care at OMC starting this fall. Whether you're dealing with prostate problems, incontinence, or a feeling that you always need to go, a referral from your doctor to OMC's new urologists is just what you need. Learn more today at olympicmedical.org/urology.
Everyone deserves the opportunity to thrive. That's why United Way mobilizes the caring power of neighbors, businesses, and community partners to lead transformational change here in Clallam County. From strengthening local resilience to advancing health, youth opportunity, and financial security, we're working towards a future where everyone can reach their full potential. Join us in leading the way to a better future for all by donating at tinyurl.com/UnitedWayClallam.
It's Price Ford's summer last drive sales event. Time to save big.
I know we have rates as low as 0%. What kind of big discounts do we have?
Up to $13,000 off new Lightnings, $11,200 off E-Transits, and up to $5,000 off Bronco Sports.
Plus, just announced rates as low as 1.9% on select Super Duty models.
Rates as low as 1.9% on diesel trucks? That never happens. Better get down here before they're gone. If pre-owned is what you're after, our selection is fantastic. Many low mile one owner.
Visit us at priceford.com.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just minutes ago, ahead of Wall Street's closing bell, and stocks are on track to end this day higher. That's after a slight rise in inflation at the wholesale level last month is bolstering expectations of a Federal Reserve rate cut at its meeting next week. And right now, the Dow is up 0.5%, over 41,000 again. The Nasdaq up 1%, and the S&P 500 up 0.75%. More couples are getting engaged, sending shares of Signet, the owner of Jared, Zales, Blue Nile, Kay Jewelers, and other chains, up 12%. But shares of COVID-19 vaccine maker Moderna down 11%, announcing plans to slash its research and development budget by 20%. That's to save money after vaccine demand took a nosedive. And McDonald's extending that $5 summer meal deal into December in most markets across the U.S. It wants to lure in more customers and prove that it's more affordable than a lot of its competitors. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
From now through September 13th at Angelus Furniture, you can save up to $800 off select adjustable Stearns & Foster mattresses. This is the biggest sale of the entire summer, so you don't want to miss this opportunity to keep those extra dollars in your pocket. You'll also save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets powered by Sleep Tracker AI. You won't find better deals anywhere than you will at Angelus Furniture. Stop by and find the perfect mattress for your perfect night's sleep.
It's the time of year to get your equipment serviced for the winter, and Leeds Farm Supply can get you taken care of. We service everything from mowers to tractors to handheld chainsaws and weed eaters. We have trained techs to take care of any machine from handhelds to large tractors. We have competitive pricing and a quick turnaround. Call us at 452-1400 and talk to Jeremiah to get your service taken care of. Leeds Farm Supply, your local farm and equipment dealer, and so much more. Located at 259110 Highway 101 in Square.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
At the Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go now. That is where Steve's standing by with one last look at what's happening on the roads this noon hour for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, overall, we're doing pretty good out there. It's busy through the Port Angeles Squim area right now, but traffic seems to be moving along pretty well. Little slowdowns at some stoplights. They're doing a little work downtown area around Front and Lincoln, or First and Lincoln. That's caused a little bit of slowdowns also around the golf course road. But overall, we're doing pretty good out there. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Squim, it's busy, but things are moving along at the speed limit. So far, no real issues out there. Beyond that, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go with no scheduled marine openings. Looks like state ferries are running on time as well. Now, if you're headed out to the West End 101, a couple issues out there. First, Elwha River Bridge. They're doing work down there, single-lane traffic to that area. That is causing some slowdowns. Also, earlier vehicle accident out on Lake Crescent out by La Puelle. That is pretty much off the road, but still causing some slowdowns out there. Everybody's okay. It's just getting things cleaned up out there. So just watch your speeds out there and be prepared for that. That's going to be a little slow going. Other than that, we're going to have a beautiful afternoon going. Everybody take care and be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Well, Americans statistically saw gains in their earnings last year, but the new numbers tell only part of the story. ABC's Jim Ryan says the pie was not divided evenly.
In 2023, the difference between what men earn and what women earn, the so-called wage gap, showed its first significant widening in 20 years. Newly released census data shows that men's median earnings rose 3% last year compared to 1.5% for women. The typical man made $67,000 in 2023. His female counterpart, $55,000.
How were the ratings for Tuesday night's debate? ABC's Jason Nathanson with a look.
The ABC News presidential debate starts right now.
Tuesday night's debate, the first face-off between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, outkicked the last debate between President Joe Biden and Trump. Nielsen says 67.1 million viewers watched on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC, up 31% from the Biden-Trump matchup, which drew 51.2 million viewers.
Well, right place, right time, perhaps. Englishman Harvey Kennedy is credited with inventing the modern version of the shoelace back in 1790. And get this, he made $2.5 million from having the patent for what was the shoelace.
We all know that streaming costs have totally spiraled out of control. It started out with firing the cable company, installing a TV antenna outside, and subscribing to Netflix and maybe one other streamer. But now the old days of cable look pretty good in the rearview mirror. Just wait until you hear about Amazon's fees. I'm Kim Commando for Simply Safe. Visit simplysafekim.com to save 50% on a new system. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Amazon's secret profit center began with an innocent $79 a year for free 2-day delivery on every order. Now it's $139. Add Amazon Prime Video without ads, and you're up to $175. Grocery delivery is another $100, and so is Amazon Music Unlimited. $10 more for Kindle, and another $16 for HBO. All these membership fees sound small, but it all adds up to a whopping $22 billion a year in pure profits for Amazon. Enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 right now at winfromkim.com. Feeling secure in your own home should not be a luxury. It should be a given. That's why Simply Safe Home Security is dedicated to providing advanced protection and peace of mind to all families. Right now, you can save big on your award-winning Simply Safe system for 50% off and claim a free indoor security camera when you order today. With exclusive LiveGuard technology, Simply Safe's 24/7 monitoring agents can act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm and even speak to intruders in your home, warning them that the police are on the way. With no long-term contracts or hidden fees, Simply Safe earns your trust every day by keeping you safe, satisfied, and never locked in. That's why Simply Safe was named the best home security systems by U.S. News & World Report. Join countless listeners who have found peace of mind with Simply Safe. Visit simplysafekim.com to save 50% on a new system with a free indoor security camera. That's simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe. That's simplysafekim.com.
Some people dealing with obesity may be more at risk than others for certain life-threatening conditions. I'll tell you more after this.
Not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Need cash help but have bad or no credit? Then you need to go to FastLoansAI.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 regardless of your credit score. FastLoansAI.com is one of the largest lender networks. Their advanced technology can help anyone get up to $10,000. Best part? Money can be in your bank account as fast as the same day. When you need fast cash, go to FastLoansAI.com. That's FastLoansAI.com.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Those with obesity due to lifestyle factors may be at greater risk for certain life-threatening conditions than those with obesity due to their genetics. We know that behavior plays a role in our weight, but it is not the entire picture. Things like environment and hormones are also involved. It is well known that the condition of obesity is a chronic condition with causes including genetics, environment, behavior, metabolism, hormones, and medications, some of which are needed for other conditions but can lead to weight gain as a side effect. Obesity is not due to poor willpower or lack of effort. Finding a doctor who's board certified in obesity medicine can be a great resource for managing this condition and losing weight safely. With Your Body, I'm ABC's Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
Four-man rush. Geno sets. He throws downfield. He's got Lockett. Lockett makes the catch. Touchdown! Seahawks! Holy catfish!
The Seahawks hit the road to battle the new-look New England Patriots from Foxborough. Join Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman this Sunday. Pre-game at 9 a.m. Kickoff at 10, right here on the Seahawks Radio Network.
Four-man rush by the Cowboys. Geno's going to run. He's down to the 5. He's in untouched. Touchdown, Seahawks!
If you've missed the Kim Komando Show, you've missed a lot.
Give her a phone, and you teach her to be a good digital citizen. And you teach her the rules of the road now, so that when she does go out on her own and she is a self-sustaining adult, that she has the tools and the knowledge to make the right decisions.
America's digital goddess,
Kim Komando. The Kim Komando Show, Saturdays from 9 to noon on KONP.
Online at myclallamcounty.com. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After squaring off against Kamala Harris this week, Donald Trump says he's done debating.
Despite the near-universal take of pundits, the former president says on social media that he won Tuesday night's face-off, and that after 2 debates to date, one with President Biden and a second with the vice president, quote, there will be no third debate. It's a reversal for Trump, who had previously called for multiple showdowns with Kamala Harris.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Trump is campaigning in Arizona today. This hour, Harris is holding a rally in Charlotte, North Carolina, and responding.
I believe we owe it to the voters to have another debate.
The election now less than 2 months away. As fire crews battle multiple large wildfires in Southern California, police have charged a suspect with arson in one of them. The line fire.
34-year-old Justin Holstenberg is now charged with a long list of arson counts. San Bernardino County District Attorney Jason Anderson says 3 incendiary devices were found, indicating Holstenberg tried to start multiple wildfires.
Arson is just one of those crimes that is, to me, unbelievably despicable because it's a head-scratcher. There's no value to be had out of arson.
A motive for allegedly setting the fires is not clear, and investigators believe Holstenberg could have started more wildfires. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection releasing findings into its internal probe into their agency's response to the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas in 2022. The report says CBP personnel who responded did not violate policy or the law, adding that the responding border agents were not properly trained for a school shooting event and there were no clear instructions from local law enforcement agencies or a command center on the ground. The gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers before police officers engaged the shooter. You're listening to ABC News.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein faces new criminal charges in New York after his previous conviction in the state was overturned. Weinstein's attorney, Arthur Adalia, slammed the indictment, calling it disingenuous.
Maybe their case fell apart. And now they went out, and they actively and aggressively went out and found new people to bring charges against Mr. Weinstein.
Charges remain sealed, so they are not known until the arraignment. New York City's police commissioner has resigned.
On the job just over a year, NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban is out, sending a resignation letter to City Hall effective Friday. In an internal email to the rank and file, Caban wrote, "The news around recent developments has created a distraction for our department, and I am unwilling to let my attention be on anything other than our important work or the safety of the men and women of the NYPD." That distraction, the feds raiding Caban's home last week, same for other top officials as part of a sweeping corruption probe looking for evidence of potential bribes in exchange for influence. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
A North Dakota judge has struck down the state's ban on abortion, saying the state constitution creates a fundamental right to access abortion before a fetus is viable. The state's only abortion provider was in Fargo, but in 2022 it moved a few miles to Moorhead, Minnesota, after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, allowing states to ban that procedure. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process, so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Looking for affordable home ownership on the peninsula? Mountain View Homes has you covered. Enjoy high-quality craftsmanship at 40% less than traditional homes. You heard me, 40% less. We offer full-service land packages from dirt to turnkey, delivering beautiful, efficient manufactured homes on your chosen site. With 3 convenient locations, including Carlsberg, we're here to serve you. Visit mtviewhomes.com today to learn more. Mountain View Homes, where affordability meets quality.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. Clallam County Sheriff's Office has gone live with a new, more user-friendly way to report crimes and other concerns online. Starting now, residents can report many types of non-emergency crimes without requiring a deputy to physically respond to the location. The Sheriff's Office will use the new program to capture anonymous tips as well through its Crime Tips option. Sheriff Brian King says that if you are reporting a crime and have suspect information or it's an emergency, you should still call 911. The online reporting platform now available at the Clallam County Sheriff's Office website through the Clallam County main page.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 63. Winds out of the northwest, around 5 miles per hour. Lows level out for around 49. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Slight chance for showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 61. Cloudy skies expected. Temperatures a bit below average Saturday and Sunday, with highs from the upper 50s to the low 60s. Scattered showers possible both days. A peek at the extended shows, 62 Monday, 59 Tuesday, and 61 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 53.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
And welcome once again to the program today. We're going to get a little more detailed follow-up to something we've talked about in the past. It certainly has made the news in the last few weeks, and that is the Recompete grant that has been awarded now for the North Olympic Peninsula. And we have 3 folks from Clallam County very much involved with it to tell us a bit about, well, I guess some of the stuff they wanted to tell you about before but didn't really want to get the cat out of the bag because, well, didn't know if the money was going to come. Well, lo and behold, it has come. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to start with Commissioner Mike French because he's kind of the lead in some of this as well. So let's just roll back real quick. Like for those who know nothing about the Recompete, what has happened since we last talked?
Sure. So we finished our policy development plan for what our investments would be. We submitted our plan in April. Immediately then we got a scheduling email from EDA saying, hey, we're going to do a virtual site visit, which is what we ended up being a really kind of a high stakes job interview where we made the pitch for our plan to the selection committee. And then apparently we were successful because they got back to us about a month or month and a half later saying you're going to be funded. Now let's talk about, how to refine our scopes of work and start contracting.
And for those who followed this, I mean, it's kind of two levels of things. First, you had to apply to get a chance to apply. I mean, it's a good way to put it. And you spent spent a good portion of a year or so almost. Getting the second application in, which then led to this is all. Total amount?
$35.6 million is what we're funded for.
Significant amount of money that is coming this way as well. And we're going to get through some of the details of it as we go this next segment or so on the show. That said, I think people are still a little confused as to what this is, and because it is kind of a never before heard of way to do things. And we should point out, not only did you win it here, it's the only one on the West Coast that was approved.
Only one in Washington State, only one on the West Coast.
Actually, pretty. There was some, like in California that. You beat, so to speak.
Yeah, we're very pleased. It was a very competitive program, and there's some other little fun facts about us. EDA did a blog post where they talked about all the 22 finalists that had submitted plans. They were, of course, only able to fund 6 of them. And one thing they pointed out was, there's this many labor unions involved, this many community organizations involved, this many governments involved, and they said there was 9 tribes involved. Well, our one application had 5 of those tribes. Okay. So we did a really good job being inclusive, getting all of our regional partners in.
And you think that probably was maybe the difference maker in this?
I think that was one of the really important things. Yeah. I think there's there's a lot of decisions that I look back on that were really impactful. The first decision, of course, was that we were going to be a coalition, that we weren't going to, have Jefferson County competing against Clallam County. But again, getting all 5 of our tribes involved, getting all 4 of our cities involved, getting our 2 ports, getting all of those people all at the same table, I think that absolutely is one of the big difference makers.
Yeah, because if you looked at the other applicants, quite frankly, most of them were like the port of whatever. Yes. I mean, they were kind of like one entity.
Or it was like cases. One community college that was. And, the other, I think, really important decision is that we kind of took a balanced approach to how we programmed our investments, where we said we want to invest in workforce development. We want to invest in removing the barriers people have, some supportive services, and we want to invest in job creation. And you look around some of those other finalists, they were really just only looking at one of those strategies, and we took a balanced approach.
All right. As we alluded to last time we chatted about this really is a barrier removal project more than anything else, and we don't mean that as in like we've been talking about with
not
roads
fish barrier.
We're talking about getting people so they can get and hold jobs and actually have a chance at succeeding more or less in all of this as well. So that said, I guess maybe Mike, I'll have you give the first take on what happens next. Then we can talk with our other guests about how you administer some of what is going to happen on the ground, because now literally the groundwork starts.
Yeah, so we're expecting to contract with EDA for this funding. We'll be spending it out over 5 years. And one of the interesting things that they did, we submitted 8 potential projects. They selected 6 of those for funding, and they're going to contract independently with the lead entity. And so that'll be the Olympic Community of Health is going to do our barrier removal, our supportive services project. Peninsula College is going to do our workforce development project. Clallam County is going to do a governance project where we kind of are, overseeing all of the inner workings of the plan. But there's 6 different projects, 6 different project leads. They're all going to contract independently with EDA and start that. EDA really has put a lot of resources into this program. That was something that we were really impressed by, because usually when you hear of a federal grant opportunity, a lot of the inside folks, they groan. They say, oh, I don't want to work with all that red tape. EDA has really put in a lot of resources to make sure that we can get this money out in a quick, turnaround. They did that both for the strategy development grant that they awarded us when we were one of the 22 finalists. And, they're expecting our contracting to kind of really start in October.
All right. So less than a month away, basically. So the reality starts to set in.
And Angie's actually been working with them on our scope of work for our governance project already. So, yeah.
And that's one. Angie Klon is one of our guests today. She's helping with all of this. Good to have you back.
Thanks.
Last time it was rather frazzled because you were at the other part of trying to get this all put together, right?
Trying to get the application.
So, kind of your reaction, too, since we last chatted that this came down. I mean, everybody was ecstatic, I think, that it happened. But. Yes. Now it shifts, right?
Yeah, now the hard work begins.
Right.
A lot of this was planning up until now, and now we've got to put in the hard work, and it'll be good.
Yeah. All right. Also in the studio with us is Workabout, who is I guess, does your job change somewhat in how this contracting is happening? Because you're brought on as the overall lead, if you will, administratively on some of this, or does this just kind of redefine what you're going to need to do next?
I think it's really more of a redefine, as you just stated, because really it's, there are a lot of balls in the air, and it's about making sure that all those balls are doing what they're supposed to be doing per their contracts and per their scope of works that were already submitted. So even though the governance portion is one of the aspects of funding, we have to make sure that all the other dollars that are being distributed are working effectively for the greater community, and that nothing goes sideways.
All right. I promise we wouldn't get too terribly deep and confusing into some of this, because some of the budgets, even like for Peninsula College's part, is, a few dollars here, a few dollars there, a few dollars there. But let's go through kind of these silos, if you will, or these places, what's going to happen. So let's talk Peninsula College. I'll just throw it out there. Somebody take us through what this is going to look like on the ground in what they're doing.
Sure. So Peninsula College is the lead of our workforce development strategy. It's one of the big three legs that we talked about a little before, and a lot of this grant really, that the workforce development and the supportive services were really what this grant was trying to target. So Peninsula College, the strategy that we're taking is we wanted to find the shortest pathway that we can get people into jobs. We didn't want to target workforce development programs that required a 4-year degree or a graduate degree. That's really asking a lot of people that are not in the workforce at all. So we wanted to shorten the pathway. We wanted to target industries that already had, existing workforce existing needs, and that were reliably providing good wages and benefits. And so we targeted natural resources or forestry. We really are thinking of forestry more broadly. And we targeted maritime, and we targeted manufacturing. And already Peninsula College had a lot of relationships with employers. And so the big focuses are, employer-driven, shortened pathway, and high-wage jobs at the end. And so there's the other thing to, I think, mention is rural equity. So one of the big focuses was we don't want to just tell everybody out there, come to Port Angeles, you get your job training, then you go out. And so they really had to focus on how can we make more of our programs mobile? So we're investing out, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, we're investing in mobile welding programs so that we can take equipment out to places like Clown Bay CQ and train people where they are rather than asking them to come in. So that removes, a transportation barrier. That also can remove a lot of, stigma of that, people might feel of, I'm not from Port Angeles. I don't want it. They might feel more comfortable in their setting. We're investing in mobile virtual reality. This is a weird one, but virtual reality simulators that can teach people things like how to drive a forklift. So this is a cooperation between our school districts and Peninsula College. And that's another thing to point out, that in every one of these projects, we have a lot of partners. It branches
out beyond just what that
a lot of partners,
lead is, right? Yeah.
And so our school districts, this actually is an idea that came from the Swim School District in their continuing education, their career and technical education. I get the acronym wrong. They're focused on, how can we take our students and give them skills that they will use in the workplace? Well, that's not really our target, because our target is 25 to 54-year-olds that aren't in the workforce. But if we get this equipment, number one, it's mobile, it can travel around the peninsula. Number two, we can prevent people from ever being disconnected from the workforce, which I think is an important part of prevention. And on nights and weekends, it can be available to Peninsula College for students that might fit in our recompete population. So there's a lot of focus on new and existing programs. They're looking at a marine tech program. They're looking at expanding their natural resources program that is hosted by the Forks branch. And another important part of the workforce development project is, as we were going through our policy development, we discovered that really Peninsula College didn't have good enough relationships with the employers in Jefferson County. So this is something where there's a lot of value in getting Clallam and Jefferson County in the same room, where we got to learn more about each other. And that was something that the Jefferson County EDC took on as part of this project, is we're going to get better relationships with the employers in Jefferson County, because Peninsula College serves Jefferson County. They have a branch in Port Townsend. And so I think they're going to get a lot better a response for workforce development programs in Jefferson County as a result.
Speaking of the barrier removal part of this as well, let's talk about, I know at one point, literally maybe having a fund that would help people if they had a car problem. Is that still going to be part of this too? At least a bit of a contingency fund, I guess, if you will, for folks?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to, again, understand why people aren't able to get into positions that are living wage jobs. And whatever those dilemmas might be, we're going to take a hard look at solving. And if it's simply that you need to get a new carburetor for your vehicle, let's take care of that problem. And that is a quick fix. I mean, that's totally low-hanging fruit. Right. But it's even expanded from there. And for instance, Brennan, they desperately need, they have a Chamber of Commerce, and it's also where a tourist center, for lack of better words. But people stop in there, and the community uses it as well. But they desperately need a Zoom, an OWL system, so that they can better communicate with their community about what's happening at a county level and a regional level. So Recompete is helping them acquire that. It's, again, low-hanging fruit that's going to make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you start getting into this. We chatted a little bit about this last time you all were on, about things like that. I mean, it's as simple as we need a way to talk to each other. In some cases, it's amazing that that's really the major barrier for some folks. All right, let's, speaking of this as well, let's talk about Olympic Community of Health and kind of where they fit in, what their plans are.
Sure, so they're the lead of that barrier removal project. They were already in the process of creating a system to address kind of what they called the social determinants of health. And so it was a community care hub model with community-based workers that would have closed loop referrals to make sure people were getting all of their, personal needs taken care of so that they could be healthy. Because, they're an organization that was focused on health, but, health is more than just going to the doctor and getting a prescription. If you have all these other things that aren't going correctly in your life, including access to good jobs, then you might never get to where you need to go from a health perspective. So they ended up being a really interesting partner that was not on our radar at the beginning. But they were already creating this model. And so we thought, well, with a pretty small investment, we can kind of piggyback on that rather than creating two different ones, right? And so they were a really great partner to meet kind of halfway in. They got involved really quickly. They got up to speed. So a significant part of that investment is that voucher program that you guys just talked about. That's going to be led as a partnership with the Olympic Peninsula YMCA. They'll have vouchers for childcare, for transportation needs, like you said. There's a lot of really great partners in that project, but basically the theme is whatever is causing that barrier that prevents people from putting their hand in the air and saying, I'm going to take a chance on myself. I'm going to get to that next level where I have a career, not a job. We want to solve that barrier. And the flexibility of the funding was a really key part for us, that we were able to say yes, where a lot of federal grants kind of force you to say no.
Let's talk about childcare just in general. I mean, you can hand out all the vouchers that you want. There's still a desperate need for spaces for someone to use said voucher if they had one. How is this going to play into that dilemma of just capacity issues we have?
Yes, and that's something that I worry about on a daily basis as county commissioner. I know that there's a lot of different organizations that are thinking about that problem. We call those complementary investments. That's also an issue where we have another project that's focused on our rural and underserved areas, including our tribes. I know that the Makah tribe, that's an area that they're looking on from the childcare perspective, is how do we get more workers and more slots? So there are some investments that are going to be programmed into Recompete. We're really kind of relying on a lot of those other organizations to find those slots because they're hard to come by.
If you got some guarantee that some dollars could flow towards them, it might free up some folks to say, you know what, it's worth our investment to try to do this because we know we can.
Yes.
We know it's there, but now we know there's money to help. Backfill this if it needs.
Yes.
Yeah. The other part of this too is housing. How does that fit in? And is this a similar approach to this as well? Because there's not really a direct housing component to this, but that certainly is the elephant in the room, so to speak.
Yes, and it's a hard one to talk about on some level because EDA really did not want us to be addressing housing with our direct investments, but obviously housing is a barrier for a lot of people. Our approach really is, if we can take care of a lot of the basic needs people have and get them into the job that pays them well, the job that pays them well will help them solve that barrier. And so, we're also, And anything that we can do to alleviate housing, I think that we're interested in doing. We're hoping that some of the job creation aspects of our plan might provide some solutions to housing. But again, for a lot of these population, what we didn't want to do was create investments that incentivized employers to import more workers, because that's creating a problem and solving a problem at the same time. Really, we want to find solutions for the people that already live here to get access to those good incomes with good jobs, which is, as I think, the basic American dream. Mm-hmm. And if that's the path that we can put them on, we can support them in every way that the grant allows, then I think hopefully that will allow them to have the income to solve some of their own housing problems.
All right, real quick, let's touch back on the kind of the governance leg, if you will. What does that really look like, for the layperson such as me out there?
Sure. So the governance plan really, number one, it pays for staffing, because you have to have staff to administer this. If you have to have staff to do grant reporting, a big part of it is when we first started our recompete journey, we wanted to be data focused. We wanted to let the data help drive decision making. And so we created a lot of really great partnerships to get data from DSHS and Employment Security Department, working with Washington State University. So a good chunk of our governance budget is to make sure that we can retain those data partnerships and get access to the data sets that we need so that we can kind of create a baseline and then evaluate and self-evaluate and make adjustments as necessary. A good chunk of that also is, as we've gone through the creation of this grant, we have seen so much collaboration between governments and nonprofits and all of the different agencies that we have been working with. That was actually one of the things that we brought up in that virtual site visit when we made our pitch. Was one of the challenges of the North Peninsula community is we've had not enough collaboration. We've had a history of kind of disconnection between a lot of our institutions. Just going through this process where we had kind of this big carrot hanging out there has really inspired a lot of innovation and a lot of collaboration. And so a good, some amount of our governance budget is keeping kind of those meetings going, programming and some funding for that. But the data, the staffing plan, there's also a little bit of a marketing budget. Am I missing some stuff, Angie?
Yeah, the marketing budget. There's also just our CRM, where we'll be tracking our progress on specific people that go through our plans so that we can figure out what is actually working.
And that was kind of leading to my next question, metrics. I mean, this stuff you have to report success. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? What does success look like in some of this? Because a lot of this is kind of a great unknown. It sounds great on paper right now, but
that's a great
will
question.
It work or not?
And so, I think there's two measures of success. I actually got this question at the chamber yesterday, which was it's a great question. And it's something that we thought a lot about, I think. Number one is, we have kind of a discrete number of people in what they call the prime age employment gap, mm-hmm. which is 25 to 54-year-olds that are nationally at about 80% labor force participation. So based on our data set, we have a discrete number of about 2,700 people between Clallam and Jefferson County in that gap. So our measure of success is how many of those folks do we actually transition into full-time work? Okay. And as they enter and they put their hand in the air and saying, I want to try, we're going to track them. We have a software that Angie mentioned. We're going to track them. We're going to, make sure that they have access to all these programs, whether it's the vouchers for childcare or transportation or whatever. We're going to get them into the workforce development programs, and we're going to, so we'll have a number that we can come out after 5 years and say, this is what we did. Right. The second measure of success to me is, do we see that collaboration between all of our governments, all of our tribes, all of our institutions? Do we see that continue or not? And I'm really optimistic that that will be another measure of success that will come out of this is, hopefully we continue to kind of keep that collaboration going after the 5 years, after the investments are kind of done. And what we can also do is, as we're self-evaluating between that large group of people, which is, again, our ports, our cities, our counties, everyone, what investments do we want to self-fund perpetually? Are we saying, hey, we're getting a lot of return? What's our funding plan going forward? Are we just going to say, oh, that was a great 5 years, now we're done? Or are we going to say, let's keep it going?
Before we run out of time, there are actually some specific projects beyond kind of this we're forming projects that are happening. Take us through a couple of things. Barging is involved with this. I mean, there's actually some of this money is going to be spent on buying some things.
Sure. Yeah. So we had 2 job creation projects funded. We have a third that was not funded, but we think there's a funding path forward. So I might not talk about that one as much. But the Peninsula Barging Network was a project proposed by the Port of Port Angeles, and it aims to create mobile barging facilities that can give us better access to a lot of natural resources on the west end, and just in general make better use of our marine highway system. Because one of the things that we pointed out to the people who are adjudicating us, which really, they might not understand the peninsula at all. All of our goods and services, all of our tourists, all of our residents, we use one highway.
One highway, right, yeah.
2-lane highway for most of the time, right? So we're really disconnected from the interstate system, the I-5 system, but we're right next door to the M5 system, which is the marine highway system. And so that's what that project aims to do, is find better use of our port facilities, create mobile port facilities for the west end, and hopefully get some better efficiencies for goods and services and natural resources to flow to markets and to flow to, opportunities to up value. The other project is manufacturing focused. It's the Composite Recycling Technology Center. We're buying them a kiln, basically. Is that what it's called?
Thermal modification.
There you go. Thermal modification unit.
It's a heat creator thing. That's all I know. So
they're basically using it to make artificial hardwood using coastal western hemlock. So it's a really cool chain where the Makah tribe has a forestry initiative. They grow coastal western hemlock. They now have a mill out in Nia Bay. They now can add value to their own natural resource, which they're very excited about. It creates jobs for tribal members. They ship that into Port Angeles, and they use that lumber to make artificial panels. They send it through their kilns, through their thermal modification unit, and they make these panels that can be used for quick erect housing. And so it's a really cool idea. We're interested to see what market uses it might have, but already they have a contract with the Defense Department. And it represents, it was a fairly cheap project for us to fund, and it represents upwards of, 50 new jobs in 5-year periods, and they're really low barrier jobs as far as what training they need. CRTC is actually really good at self-training, and so it was a really cool job creation project for us to fund.
So this is just the start of all this thing. This goes 5 years, is that right? So all of this, well, we'll obviously be talking more about it as they develop it as well. What is the very next thing that's going to happen then?
Next thing is we're contracting with the EDA, and we're going to start rolling out those investments. And there's going to be quite a bit of that first year. I think we'll have a lot of money spent, and then there's going to be kind of a slower taper off. The big thing that we need to do now is start to identify people that are in that prime age employment gap. Start to do some marketing and say, hey, we want you, right?
Yep.
We want to get you a career. We want to get you a pathway to success. Put your hand in the air, contact us. So that's going to be, I think, our big push, is kind of, doing some outreach to folks and seeing if they're interested in changing their lives.
We're not live yet, but we do have an upcoming Empowering Women's Workshop that we're collaborating with WorkSource on creating, and that I'm looking at that as our first guinea pigs. This is great.
Right.
You need a job. We're here to not only offer you jobs, but we're here to offer you the tools that you need to have to succeed. There's going to be resume making. There's going to be mock interviews. We're going to have a clothing closet where people can take home outfits, free childcare, and that will be on October 11th at the Hub.
Downtown, 10:30 till 1.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've got the flyer sitting in front of me. So that's kind of, your first little maybe a kickoff in some ways as to what this is all about. Yeah.
We're not funded yet.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have all the pieces in place, but let's start accessing who's out there and having conversations with them.
All right. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more down the road. She is kind of the lead on this from, I guess the redirected lead on all of this, the way this has come down. Also, Angie Klon, who's helping with all of the data stuff still, and it sounds like your job just got a lot busier. It never really stopped.
A lot of contracts
at the county, and of course, County Commissioner Mike French, who's been the county lead on all of this, and I guess I'll say all three of you, congratulations.
Thank you.
On getting this. I think it was still a lot of fingers crossed, praying, and all of that going on that it was going to happen.
We had a couple weeks to take a deep breath and kind of celebrate, and now it's go time again. So,
all right. Yeah. Thank you all for coming in, and we'll keep people up to date. We'll do a few of these, I'm sure, in the next few months coming up. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more on our show right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
Have you been searching and searching for anyone to install, repair, or replace your windows? What about looking for someone to install a new exterior door? And what about a skylight, or a new glass shower enclosure, or even a glass railing system? It can be hard, if not near impossible, to just get a call back. We at Hartnagel Building Supply sympathize with just how difficult it can be to get fast and dependable glass services. It's why we created our newest division, Hartnagel Glassworks. With over 80 years of combined experience, our team is ready and excited to help you on your next project. Whether it's big or small, residential or commercial, installation or repair, we can pretty much handle anything related to glass. Contact us today at 360-417-8388 or at hbsglassworks.com. Angeles Millwork and Hartnagel Building Supply, building homes, building community since 1906.
The Swain's Get Ready for Fall sale is chock full of supplies to get you through the hunting season. Men's River West camo jackets and pants are all 20% off. Allen All Easy Aim targets in stock are 15% off, and Outdoor Edge Razor Pro 6-pack replacement blades and skinning blades are marked down to $54.87. You'll be able to fit it all into the Alps Outdoors, Badlands, Allen, and Citra hunting backpacks, including pack boards. All brands on sale for 20% off. Get ready for fall at Swain's General Store.
Harper Ridgeview and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel offer experience you can lean on and the compassion to ease your loss. Their job is to help families cope with loss of loved ones by removing the stress involved in planning funeral arrangements. All of the staff has a real heart for serving families and their needs in the most difficult of times. They truly realize the importance in what they're doing for the community. Squim Valley Funeral Chapel and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel in Port Angeles, the caring support you'll need in your time of loss.
Life moves fast. Your internet should move even faster. Connect, game, study, and do it all with Astound's hypersonic award-winning fiber-powered internet. It's a big deal. Call 1-800-4ASTOUND or go to astound.com to get internet for only $20 a month with a 2-year price lock. Plus, get a $100 Amazon gift card and add 5G unlimited mobile free for 12 months. Because reliable internet and better mobile is a big deal. Go to astound.com today. Restrictions apply. See astound.com for details.
This is Alicia. I'm the admin at Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, the worker-owned and operated home care agency in Clallam County. Our service structure empowers our caregivers, and empowered caregivers make the very best caregivers. Let us answer questions on your in-home care for your loved one. Give us a call today, 360-504-3837. Are you a natural caregiver? Consider joining our fantastic team at Ridgeline and become one of the empowered caregivers at ridgeline.coop. That's ridgeline.coop.
All right, going to switch gears just a bit now and talk a bit about some veteran services. Every few months we have Glenn Cutler join us. He's a chapter service officer for DAV here locally, and always informative about things that are happening for our veterans and their families as well, as far as services go. One of the reasons we have you here, Glenn, is you've got an information seminar, an actual one of these you put on a couple of times during the year to get folks out to find out what's available for them.
Yeah, basically, it's once a year we get a very senior individual with Disabled American Veterans, DAV, and they're the senior supervisor, which is a national service officer working at the Seattle office, and they cover Washington State. I'm not sure if they do Oregon or not, but they have much more training and are much more involved, and they actually have access to veterans that are represented by DAV. They can actually go in and see what's going on, where all I can do is help the veteran make a phone call, and we get a call center, and the call center just passes on what the notes are. Yes, we're working on it. This service officer can go in deeper. So what we do is we're having it at KSQM Community Room on the 24th of September, which is a Tuesday. Starts at 9:30. The doors will open at about 9 o'clock. The first hour and a half, the service officer will go over various programs and where DAV can help a veteran do things. And then after the presentation is over, there'll be one-on-one time with veterans that are represented by DAV to actually go into their records.
And they can
some
get in there,
specifics. They a lot more information and more knowledgeable. So we try to call them on complicated cases and things of that nature.
Who should come to this? Who do you recommend show up for this?
So it's geared towards not just veterans, but their family members as well. So if they have a spouse, even when they come in to see me, the veteran has a spouse, a partner, I said, bring them in. It's another pair of ears to listen to what's going on. I give a lot of information. You can get a lot of information there. Caregivers, other family members. Yesterday was at the senior center. I had a child of a veteran. The veteran was in a nursing home and is not ambulatory. And the son came in and said, hey, my dad's in the home, some family issues going on. And they were actually looking for information on Medicaid. And I said, I can't help you with that, but let's talk about your dad in the service. And he said, oh, I didn't know. And I asked him questions. He said, oh, I don't know. I said, can you get certain documents and then come back and see me? So it's open to others. And even if your brother, sister, a relative, it doesn't hurt to come in. As Scooter used to say, free is a very good price. So, yeah.
Well, and we've talked in the past, too, about how much, how many benefits more or less kind of get left on the table because people don't realize they have them coming to them. Partially, it's, navigating the bureaucracy and people might just get frustrated and just stop. But a lot of it is they just don't even know what's available to them.
Yeah, you make a good point. A lot of folks go, I got to fill a form out or, example, power of attorney. I get a couple comes in and says, I've got a power of attorney. My attorney drew this up. I could use this anywhere in the country, blah, 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 blah. And I go, guess what? The VA won't accept that. You have to have their particular form. Well, and I said, look.
And you wouldn't know that, but you know that to tell them.
Yeah, I said, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to help you navigate what's going on and what's happening and trying to reduce some of the frustration. I can't eliminate it completely, but I can at least explain to you what you have to do. And one of the things I do is tell them, if you want the king's money, you have to follow the king's rules. Okay, I don't make them up, but I just try to help you navigate and have the veteran and other family members potentially get what they've earned through service to the country.
Absolutely. All right, before we run out of time, a couple of things that have happened just recently. There's been some expansion of health care benefits for veterans. Want to fill us in on that? Because some of these, I think, are important because people who are already maybe getting benefits or thinking about it may not realize there may be some new eligibility for them.
Yeah, and it's been in place for, I want to say, over a year, maybe a little bit long. I think it was signed into law in August of 2022, the PACT Act. Mm-hmm. It covers many more things for burn pit exposure, Agent Orange, those that served in some places that the government would not recognize they really served, but they were exposed to the hazards just as if they were in Vietnam or if they were on board ship and you didn't set foot in Vietnam on the land itself, but were close enough to potentially be exposed. So I encourage all veterans, whether you're getting something or haven't gotten anything, come in, let's sit down and talk what your particular thing is. And also emphasizing to some veterans that are receiving some benefits now, if your condition has gotten worse, there's a potential to get that increase for you. So let's sit down and have a dialogue.
Right. But that's where it has to start because as much as you'd think the government would be able to track you, they really don't in that sense. It's up to you to kind of force that issue.
So that's a good point. Yeah. The VA is a three-legged stool. Cemeteries, medical, and benefits. I get some veterans go, I'm in the medical system. They know I have all these issues, but I'm not getting any money. I said, well, that's because the benefit side doesn't know you've got medical issues. I said, you have to engage the benefits, then they'll talk to medical. And if you're being treated by the VA, it'll be easier to get things moving forward, easier to collect data and
That's
records.
Great point. So. Yeah. All right. Real quick, because you do have office hours, tell folks if they do want to come meet with you and maybe bring a spouse or a kid or somebody else with them. When are you available?
So what we do in Port Angeles, we do it by appointment only. So veterans are not coming in right at 8:30 at the Senior Center and then wait till 1 o'clock to be seen. So if they call 360-457-7004, you'll get the receptionist at the Senior Center. They have the schedule. They'll slot you in when necessary. We spend at least an hour with a veteran. If we need more time, there'll be a follow-on appointments. The other thing I'd like to say, if we got a little time, the DAV folks in Sequim have moved from WorkSource. They're now at the Sequim Museum, which is 544 North Sequim Avenue, and you can call them at 360-775-6482. And they're from Wednesday, 10 o'clock to 3 p.m. Port Angeles, the hours are slightly different. We're there from 8:30 to 2 o'clock.
All right. And you can show up on Tuesday, September 24th if you want to take in the seminar that's happening. That might be a good starting point.
And you don't need to sign up. Just show up. Come with a smile, and KSQM is really good. They normally have cookie and some
treats. There you go. They're over there right off their studios, which is off Washington Street in the old JCPenney Plaza. Can't miss it. And you open up the doors about 9 o'clock, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. It's always great, Glenn, to have you in. We'll get back into a regular schedule with you as well. There's lots going on always, and I think it's good for all our vets and their families out there to realize what they have coming to them.
Yeah. Thank you so much for you and KONP for having us come in and share the word that we have.
All right. Our pleasure. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to wrap up our show right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
Welcome to Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored this time by Brown's Outdoor. This is Alan Barnard, and this Volunteer Spotlight shines on Patty Pastore and her group of volunteers known as Helping Hands. Patty and her group have been cleaning up abandoned campsites, streets, alleys, and waterfront areas around Port Angeles since 2017. They have cleaned up literally tons of trash to help the local environment. They also work in concert with the recently formed group 4PA. Volunteers are the heart of this community, and that's why Patty Pastore and Helping Hands deserve this volunteer spotlight. If you know a person or group you feel deserves this spotlight, email info@radio-pacific.com and we'll contact you. It's said that service is the rent we pay for our space on Earth. That's why we present this volunteer spotlight, brought to you by Brown's Outdoor, serving your family for over 100 years.
Tri-State Roofing is celebrating the grand pre-opening in Sequim. Tri-State specializes in more than just roofs, siding, gutters, patio covers, and doors. And the best part is, we got you covered with incredible financing. Project now and pay later, much later. Zero down payment, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 18 months on approved credit. Experience the Tri-State way. We've got you covered 24/7. Call 253-ROOFING.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Fair weather turns our thoughts to outdoor projects. Hi, this is Clallam PUD, and we want you to be safe so you can enjoy the results of your hard work. It's easy. Call 811 2 business days before any work involving digging so underground utilities can be properly located and marked. Visit ClallamPUD.net for more safety tips about outdoor projects and more. Clallam County PUD, bringing energy to life.
All right, back with more on our program. We're going to wrap things up with an abbreviated version of our business bits. We do this on Thursday afternoons, our last segment, and our business guru himself, Kevin Holt, joins us. And today, dirty deeds that are not dirt cheap.
No, indeed.
I was going to play that AC/DC song, but
that's okay. It doesn't fit the demo, but we'll just say we're making fun of an old arena rock song.
There you go. So we've got. I'm just going to let you go on this one. Let's talk about this and how this affects those of us out in the real world.
Well, when we're talking about dirty deeds, we're talking about things people do in contracts to get you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an attorney. I haven't checked, but I don't think Todd is either. But we'd like to bring to your attention some things that you might want to talk to an attorney about so that you don't get caught in some of these traps. So most of us have heard about that dirty trick a certain entertainment company tried to pull on a grieving family. A diner at the happiest place on earth passed away due to a food allergy. And that death was said to be caused by ingesting a meal prepared with ingredients the family had specifically asked to be left out. Now, when the family attempted to sue, the company insisted the lawsuit should be thrown out. Why? Well, they pointed out a universal arbitration contract clause in a 1-month free trial the family had signed up for several years ago. That contract required users arbitrate any and all disputes of any kind with any function of the company. Well, happily, the court disagreed, and the suit will go forward, but unfortunately, this is just another example of what accountants call sharp practices. Engaging in sharp practices means exploring legal attempts to advantage the firm, put the customer at a disadvantage, or both.
So, if I get this right, these people signed a trial agreement thing, thinking, okay, that's all said and done, and off we go. But yet, that still was in place.
The way it was written, it's a very big company that does a lot of things, and what they said was, when you sign this agreement, you are giving up your right to sue us in every aspect of the company.
So whether it's your streaming service or I'm coming to Disneyland in this case or something
like
that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And so these sharp practices have been made catastrophically worse by online contracts. Mm-hmm. I just signed one the other day. I bought a new phone. Mr. Fumbles dropped his. And, 65 screens later, they just wear you down.
Yeah. And
There's nothing you can do.
That's the intention, isn't it?
It absolutely is. They call these lots of things, but attorneys call them contracts of adhesion because you're stuck with them. Mm-hmm. So I've got a couple of really bad examples of sharp practices that have popped up in court cases around the country. And so we'll just kind of discuss these briefly so that people have a sense of just how dangerous some of these things are. The first one is called judgment by confession without suit. When we borrow money, we sign a contract to repay that money. A loan agreement will spell out who's borrowing what from whom, the repayment terms, and the processes for resolving non-performance. So if you don't pay, this is what happens. One of the most common ways to resolve an unpaid debt is to take the debtor to court and get a judgment. A court judgment then opens the door to those more aggressive collection actions like garnishing wages or seizing money in your bank account. So let's say you're a lender and you don't really want to take the costs or the delays of going to court. Well, you can have your borrower sign this agreement or contract clause called a judgment of confession without suit. I'm sure that already sounds bad. It gets even worse. A judgment of confession without suit is a private admission of liability for the debt without going to court. The borrower agrees to let the lender file a judgment against them unopposed. When the lender gets the judgment that way, those more aggressive collection efforts can begin immediately. The borrower has no further recourse or defense.
How do you know you're getting into that game? they're not going to come out and directly say that to you.
You're going to find that tucked away in a big pile of stuff, or in the 64th of the 65
somewhere's a clause
screens.
in there that says, you know what, by you signing this, you're not going to take me to court on anything. We're not going to court on anything. We're just going to go for it.
We're going to take whatever we want. And this, strangely enough, is not new. In fact, the oldest instance I saw of this in Washington state law was 1877. So it's a lender's convenience law.
Sure.
Now, I think it's pretty obvious that an informed buyer would want to avoid signing those, but many borrowers aren't aware of the consequences when they get their agreements. These judgments are often proffered by lenders targeting distressed borrowers. That's their favorite tag.
They're desperate for the
That's
dollars.
right.
They need it. You're going to sign anything.
They're in a real bind, and they got to. But if you're tempted to hold your nose and sign these kinds of agreement, remember the old saying, there is no situation so bad that you can't make it even worse. And so if you're broke, you could get a whole lot broker.
Right. And what would trip one of these? I mean, you miss one payment, perhaps, maybe.
It's built into the contract, but the ones I've seen are usually 90 days in arrears. After that, boom, you're dead. And so that's it. These first came about with really high-risk credit cards. And they said, well, we're going to trust you with this. You go sideways on us, we're just going after you. But it's spreading. It's going everywhere. Like I said, it's a very old law that was meant to make it more likely for people to get loans at a time when things were a lot less sophisticated. Not anymore.
Yeah, not 64 pages of an online screen thing. That,
you know, your one hope, I would think, with some of those is word search. You know, just try to run these things through and start picking out a few of these. And I'll mention something else in a moment. The other one is called quit claim upon default. Now, a quit claim deed is often used to transfer ownership of property without the actual sale, but there are cases where this quit claim upon default is sneaking into land contracts. Most of us know a land contract sale is sometimes used between private parties when the seller finances part of the sale by contract. A land contract is an option when a buyer won't or can't use a conventional mortgage. So when a quit claim upon default is added to that land contract, the seller can take the property back without going to court. And this is a huge surrender of the buyer's rights. Normally, when you default on a property loan, there's a process for repossessing that property that's pretty arduous, goes through court, and you have a lot of opportunities to protect your rights. In this case, the moment the terms of the contract aren't met, the property reverts to the seller.
And it's automatic.
It's automatic. So like the universal arbitration clause, the strategy hasn't been tested in court. This one's new. Judgment by default without court is very old. This is very new. So it's really something to watch out for. So what can you do? Because most of us don't have the time, inclination, or knowledge to review every one of these 65 screen contracts. What can we do? Well, the first thing we can do internet searches about these topics. We can learn a little bit about the vocabulary, and we can look through these things. The other thing we can do is just say no. I'm not going to sign. We can promote and patronize companies that offer favorable terms. We can make a commitment to ourselves to have competent counsel review any contract, like a land contract we're getting into. And we can report what we learned to the Federal Trade Commission and our elected officials and have them ban these sharp practices. We can take a lot of steps to protect ourselves, but we have to make the effort. If we stay lazy and sign the agreement or just click yes so we can get our next shiny object, we become the architects of our own demise. So be careful out there, people, as they say.
Exactly. And unfortunately, you may have to read the 64 screens.
Or at least word
somebody
search it. Yeah. Now, next time, we'll just talk a little bit about easy ways to use social media and web to get more customers. It's going to be a very focused conversation on doing one thing: more feet through the door.
Very good. All right, Kevin, it's always great to talk to you. Go to kevinyourbusinesscoach.com for great sage advice about these things and others.
Indeed.
And we're not on next week. It'll be 2 weeks, I think, when we get back
on
at
the beach in late September.
There you go. All right, Kevin, good to see you. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll wrap things up on our program right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Thomas Building Center, a cornerstone of the North Olympic Peninsula for 52 years, partnered with Kodiak Building Partners in July 2024. The Little John family chose Kodiak because they knew Kodiak for their shared commitment to community, quality, and service. We are dedicated to building on Thomas Building Center's success by enhancing employee benefits, supporting training opportunities, and investing in fleet capacity alongside Kodiak. We will continue to invest in our facilities, expand product lines, and support the community that has supported us. The Thomas Building Center family trusts Kodiak to take care of our business, employees, customers, and community. Our shared values of exceptional service, strong culture, and deep community ties have been the foundation of Thomas Building Center's success. We are honored to continue this legacy alongside Kodiak and Clallam County. To learn more about how we are building on Thomas Building Center's legacy, visit KodiakBP.com.
This is Newsradio KONP.
Caviar Jewelry is freshly restocked with darling sterling silver fashions. If you haven't stopped by in a while, now is a great time to check out the whole new collection. We have also, for the first time in Caviar history, marked our clearance jewelry to 50% off indefinitely. Every week we pull one-year-old inventory and add it to the half-off case. You won't find deals like this anywhere else. Annie and Sharon can't wait to see you again. Caviar Jewelry, 2416 East Highway 101.
It's Fall League time at Laurel Lanes in Port Angeles. For nearly 65 years, Laurel Lanes has been the #1 place for pin dropping, ball rolling, perfect game, and gutter ball fun. If you're looking for a great way to meet people, exercise, and have a blast, signing up for a Fall League just might be for you. Even if you've never bowled in your life, Laurel Lanes is the place to go to have a ball. Get signed up today at Laurel Lanes or call 360-457-5858.
News, sports, and information for the North Olympic Peninsula. We're News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. This week's debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump looks like it will be the only debate. Trump today on social media says he will not participate in another debate against Harris. Election day now less than 2 months away, both candidates focusing on key swing states. The former president in Arizona today, Vice President Harris holding a rally in North Carolina. ABC's Deputy Political Director Rick Klein says the Harris campaign has a booked calendar.
They're saying that they're going to have a presence with either Harris or Walz in all 7 of the major battleground states in the next couple of days, and to expect a lot more. It makes sense. We're 8 weeks out. We're in an absolute sprint right now. But it is striking to think about how short this whole campaign season is, knowing that there just aren't any more major tentpole events now that the only presidential debate's behind us. There is a VP debate coming ahead. The campaign is going to try to look to create some moments going forward and do what they can.
Ukraine's leader has pushed to use U.S. weapons to strike targets deeper inside Russia. The U.S. and allies have held off. Russia's president today warning that would be an escalation since Ukraine would need the help of Western countries and NATO. The trial for Brian Kohberger, the man charged in the stabbing murders of 4 University of Idaho students, will be moved to a new county, the state's highest court, siding with his attorneys on that change.
Now the Idaho Supreme Court has ruled Kohberger's trial will be held in Ada County, where Boise is located. That's where Kohberger's attorneys wanted the trial moved to, saying people there are less familiar with the case. But it's 300 miles away from Latah County, which makes the victims' families angry. Alex Stone, ABC News.
After making landfall as hurricane near New Orleans last night, Francine weakening but still posing a threat for flooding as it moves through southeast states and the Florida Panhandle today. And in Southern California, wildfires exploding with fire crews battling 3 major fires. One has destroyed homes in San Bernardino County. You're listening to ABC News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline.
I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
The clock is ticking as a $1 billion Mega Millions ticket remains unclaimed.
Could you be a billionaire and not know it? If you live in New Jersey, maybe. 6 months ago, somebody in Jersey won a $1.1 billion Mega Millions jackpot, but they haven't come forward to claim the prize yet. If they don't do that in the next 6 months, the money goes back into the state lottery fund. Check your drawers and clean out your cars, Jersey. You could have a winning ticket hiding there somewhere.
ABC's Sherry Preston reporting. The FAA is investigating a close call at Nashville's airport. A Southwest plane crossed in front of an Alaska jet as it was taking off. The Alaska plane slammed on its brakes at 119 miles per hour. Those brakes then overheated and deflated the tires. A court date now set for the defamation lawsuit over Netflix's Baby Reindeer.
The Netflix limited series Baby Reindeer could win big at the Emmys this weekend, but will it win big in court? We may not know until next year.
I really don't know where it's going to end.
A date has been set for May 2025 for the defamation lawsuit against Netflix, in which Fiona Harvey claims the show's stalkers based on her, but the series lies about her interactions with show star and creator Richard Gadd. Gadd has said that the character that stalks him in the show, which is supposed to be based on real-life events, is not Fiona Harvey. Harvey is seeking $170 million in damages from the streaming service.
ABC's Jason Nathanson. Word today, Hall of Famer linebacker Joe Schmidt has died. He was 92. Michelle Franzen, ABC.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. Clallam County Sheriff's Office has gone live with a new, more user-friendly way to report crimes and other concerns online. Starting now, residents can report many types of non-emergency crimes without requiring a deputy to physically respond to the location. The Sheriff's Office will use the new program to capture anonymous tips as well through its Crime Tips option. Sheriff Brian King says that if you are reporting a crime and have suspect information or it's an emergency, you should still call 911. The online reporting platform now available at the Clallam County Sheriff's Office website through the Clallam County main page.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. A mix of clouds and sun this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 63. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again. Tonight, lows dip down to about 49. 61 tomorrow, slight chance for showers. Temps below average Saturday and Sunday with highs from the upper 50s to the low 60s. Scattered showers possible both days. A peek at the extended shows, 62 Monday, 59 Tuesday, and 61 on Wednesday. I'm weatherology meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 61 degrees.
This is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you win in your life, winning with your money, winning in your work, and winning in your relationships. The phone number for you to jump in to get coached up is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Alongside the incomparable, the fabulous, the fantastic Rachel Cruz, I am Ken Coleman, and we are here for you. Thrilled that you're with us, America. Let's get to it. We're going to go to Sky, who's joining us in Salt Lake City, Utah. Sky, how can we help?
Hi. So I was calling in because I was involved in a romance scam probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and it ended up getting me into like $45,000 worth of debt.
Oh, no.
Sky, what happened?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Was the person fake? Like it was like an internet thing?
Yeah, it was an internet thing. So I don't know. It was like over a course of several months, like nearly a year, that I was catfished into believing this person was real. And it was weird because like he would do FaceTimes with me and it seemed like the same person every time. And it was like it didn't seem fake to me, you know? And to me, it was like we were setting up a life together, and so I ended up spending most of my money to this guy. And it's weird how it can happen to like anyone, because I'm pretty young, and I didn't recognize this as being a normal scam.
So, Scotty,
you know?
I don't want to. I don't want to bring up all this pain, but I do think you just said something that I agree with, that this can happen to a lot of people. And without going into the entire detail of it, what were you being asked to send money to him for? I'm just curious so that
like
people
his
can hear
bills,
this.
like what was he asking money for?
Yeah.
So it was more so like just to set up life together. It wasn't really anything particularly, like, it didn't seem like anything crazy. It was like, oh, well, we should get a house and we should get like things going. And
So you sent him money for
stuff.
a down payment on a home?
It wasn't necessarily that, but it was just like a collection of like things. It wasn't just one specific. I don't want to say like one specific thing. It was like a whole bunch of like little things that combined to be a lot of money, you know?
Okay. All right.
Man,
well,
I'm so sorry.
So
Scott.
sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, so how can we help today?
So I guess my question is how do I get in touch with the right people to fight this? Because it seems like I take it to the police station, and I take it to people who are supposed to know how to handle these situations and supposed to know how to help, but it doesn't seem like anybody is like, well, sorry, this happened. Sucks to be you, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why you're getting those answers. So you went to all those authorities, and that was pretty much the answer?
Yeah.
Well,
that, and he stole my identity too. Like, he's been hacking into my bank accounts and stuff with it, and opening like random cards.
Still?
I have a person down in Georgia who's using it for unemployment.
Right now?
Yeah. And they told me SOL.
Okay, well, I mean, that end we can help with. The identity theft, the money that you've paid some random person, it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Sky, there's not like a legal battle to be fought. There was not a contract in place. There was nothing that's going to hold ground in court. It's just you made a mistake, a $45,000 mistake, and I'm so sorry for that. How old are you, Sky?
I'm 21.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. He totally, picked you out, knew what he was doing, and you got scammed.
Did you learn anything from this guy?
I think I learned a lot from it, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the other end, though, your identity being stolen, that's a separate. Yeah, there's something there that you can do. So I would go in and pull your credit reports. You can do this for free at all the 3 different credit bureaus. So you can just go online, Experian, TransUnion, any of those. Pull your credit report and see a detailed list of your credit. Okay. And then you can freeze your credits so no one else can be taking money out of your name. Now, the unemployment, Social Security, that gets into the government side of your identity, right? So there's a whole IRS situation there that you would have to untangle as well. Scott, do you have family like your parents and stuff? Where are they?
So I'm actually living with my parents right now.
Okay, what are they saying about all this? Is your mom and dad helping at all detangle this, or do they know about it?
They do know about it, and like my mom, she just like last week helped me get LifeLock on all of my accounts and stuff like that. But
Good.
It still sucks because you can't just change your social. And I had him, like, after I got LifeLock, he called my bank using like a recording of my voice. That you know how like AIs can go in and like make your voice back. Yeah, so he did that, and then he called my bank and used my social and got another like $300 from my account.
Okay. Wow. Well, I would even switch banks. I mean, I would do some pretty drastic things where he can't find you in that way. And hey, Scott, and you may want to contact Xander. They have a great identity theft program. They have insurance, which you're probably going to buy after we get off this call. But even them, hopefully being able to direct you and untangle some of this as well from the identity theft side of it. But yeah, I mean, if I were you, I would change banks completely.
Change
I
everything.
would freeze my credit. Yep. And yeah, I mean, and then from there, yeah, I mean, I would call Xander and get some direction on the things like the Social Security, the unemployment, all of that, because that's the government side of this. But gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it's just a good lesson for those of, watching and listening that, we always say you don't give money to people you're not married to. Even if you're dating, even if you're engaged, you don't combine finances at all. You don't pay on each other's debt. You don't do any of that until you're married. And then, I mean, I guess it just has to be said out loud. Until you meet someone in person. Yeah, we're not going to.
You can't believe you got to say it, but don't send a nickel to a person that you've not met. You just can't do that. This is not even, the person that's scamming her may not even be a man. You don't even know. Like, all of this AI stuff and all of this is very, very sinister stuff.
It's getting,
right here.
And it's getting
worse.
Well, the fact that he used her voice recording.
Yeah, this is
that's
pro.
AI. I mean, like, that is, that's not like USPS texted me.
This isn't your garden variety catfish.
No, I thought, USPS. I got a text like 2 months ago that they lost the package and asked for all my information. And I can't believe it. I did it.
Because you trust the Postal Service.
It said, have a nice day at the end of the
Did you really?
text. Did you not know that? We had a whole segment about this. Oh,
I wasn't on with you.
Can you believe?
Did you get scammed?
Can you believe it? Nothing's happened so far. But
poor Winston. He must have had to eat a bottle of Pepsi AC.
I had to ask him for his debit card because I was like, maybe my debit card won't go through.
He went along with it?
No. My debit card would not go through on this website that was sent to me by the quote-unquote USPS.
Yeah.
And Winston was like, babe, that's a scam. And I was like, what? I fell for it.
You got a text from your friendly. You are.
And then you look at the email above, and it's like 89423 at gmail.com. I mean, it's stupid, y'all. I fell for it, so I'm saying I have to say, smart people can fall for stupid stuff, so watch out for the scams. They're everywhere. He's speechless.
I've never been speechless. I'm going to have to take a commercial break to recover. We'll be right back. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, you guys, emergencies happen in life. Situations like those are why we teach people to have an emergency fund. And when it comes to medical emergencies, there is a medical emergency kit from the Wellness Company. They're great for when you need medicines right away and can't wait for the pharmacy to open. And who has time to wait in line at urgent care? Your medical emergency kit has antibiotics and medicines for over 30 common illnesses like strep throat, pneumonia, UTI, and more. These are doctor-prepared prescriptions like Z-Pak, amoxicillin, and ivermectin, so they're like having an urgent care in your home. Just answer a few questions at urgentcarekit.com/Ramsey, and your medical emergency kit is shipped right to your door. And use the promo code Ramsey at checkout to save 15%. I have one, and you should too. That's urgentcarekit.com/Ramsey. Use the promo code Ramsey.
When you go against what society thinks is, quote, normal, it might feel weird, and that's okay. That means you're doing things intentionally, including spending your healthcare dollars. And one way to be intentional is Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM isn't insurance. They're a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families take care of healthcare costs. Go to chministries.org/budget to learn more. chministries.org/budget.
There are 24 hours in a day, so your team needs to streamline tasks that are a time suck with NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing all your major business processes into one platform. So join the more than 37,000 smart companies like Ramsey Solutions that are boosting efficiency with NetSuite, and download NetSuite's KPI checklist for free at netsuite.com/Ramsey.
2022 was a year of financial hurdles for most Americans. Mortgage interest rates rose, an economic recession began, the government made more empty promises to forgive student loan debt, but Americans still returned to credit cards and trusted the government to bail them out. Meanwhile, credit card debt continues to rise by the billions, and Congress grows wealthier by the minute. Now, here at Ramsey Solutions, we know this is not a plan that wins, and that's why we are on a mission to bring hope to the hopeless. We want to help people build real wealth, do work they love, and create connected relationships. And we need people like you to help us. We have open roles on our marketing, technology, and sales teams. And we offer financial, developmental, and health benefits to help you live a balanced life while doing life-changing work. Want to join the crusade? Well, go check out all of our open roles at RamseySolutions.com/careers and apply today. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/careers.
Are you wondering where your money goes every month? You work too hard to be living paycheck to paycheck. It's time to get gazelle intense about making a change, and we want to help you build a future you can be excited about. Our all-time best-selling book, The Total Money Makeover, is going to help you take control of your money. You'll learn 7 organized, easy-to-follow steps that will lead you out of debt, help you build wealth, and secure your future. Plus, you'll be inspired by the real-life stories from folks just like you who have learned how to put these principles into action and change their family tree. I've heard so many debt-free screams over the years from people that won with money, and so many of them started with this book. So what are you waiting for? It's time for your Total Money Makeover. Get it today in the online store at RamseySolutions.com. or call us at 888-22-PEACE. That's RamseySolutions.com or 888-227-3223.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Thrilled to have you with us. 888-825-5225 is the phone number to jump in. We want to help you win with your money, win in your work, and win with your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman. Rachel Cruz is alongside. Hey, we're heading into the fall, and it feels like everybody's kind of starting to put the serious, hat back on. We had some fun in the summertime. People start to focus on their money. You've got the holidays that are right around the corner, and it's time to get your money in the right place if it isn't. And we want to let you know about a free live training